Hey everyone, it's Ryan here. So this is a video for Premier League Game Week 2 results and reactions, I guess. I haven't really got a name for it yet, but I will think of something. So, start off with Saturday. There was 4 games. Started off with Everton versus West Brom. The score at the end was 5-2 to Everton. It was a really entertaining match to watch. Calvert-Lewin got a hat-trick. Rodriguez got his first goal. I think he managed to get an assist as well. I think one of the main talking points about that match was Gibbs being sent off before half time. If I remember correctly from watching it, Gibbs has the ball, he passes to someone, but Rodriguez is coming in at such a speed he sort of has to push off Gibbs lightly just to stop himself. But the problem is then Gibbs sort of like lashes out at Rodriguez and he's like pushing him. So then Gibbs gets sent off for that. And then Bilic, the West Brom manager, at half time literally goes to Mike Dean, the referee, and literally just yells at him about the red card, about the first goal, because he thinks the first goal was offside. I think looking back on it, it was like just onside. So Mike Dean then sends him off. So basically I think he has a touchline ban for maybe 3 games, I don't know. But yeah, after the sending off, it was sort of just mostly all Everton. West Brom did get a good free kick. That was probably one of the best goals of the day. There was a good moment, I think Calvert-Lewin's second or third goal. I had Rodriguez in my fantasy team, so I was a bit sort of annoyed and okay with this one, I guess. There's a bit where Rodriguez chips the ball literally over the entire wall of players. Richarlison hits it. I think it's going to be Richarlison goal, but then Calvert-Lewin literally an inch off the line kicks it in. Apparently it was going wide, so Calvert-Lewin just finished it off. But in my case, that means it's not a Rodriguez assist, it's a Richarlison assist, so I don't get the points for that. But other than that, Everton did really well. I think they're temporarily top of the table based on goal difference. They've had 2 wins from 2 games. That's a good start for them. West Brom lost both their games. However, with this one, it feels like they've done a lot better. Second match, Leeds versus Fulham. Again, another really good match. A lot of back and forth. It ended up being 4-3 to Leeds. I think those 2 penalties, if I remember correctly. Like West Brom got the first one, make it 1-1. Then like 2 minutes later, Leeds got one to make it 2-1. Oh, sorry about that. I'm not woke up, so I'm pretty sure it's sorting itself out. Anyway, like I said, good back and forth match. So Leeds have got their first win. It's another 4-3 between them, but they're on the winning side this time. So I'm hoping there's more games like that. Fulham lost again, but they did do quite well for themselves, getting 3 goals. But I think they're now at near the bottom of the table based on goal difference. I think West Brom are bottom with like a -5, whereas Fulham got a -4, if I remember correctly. And then the next one, which this was a bit of a surprise to watch. Man United versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace ended up winning 3-1. You could sort of just tell from like within the first 15 minutes of Man U playing that either they weren't ready to play or the same problems from before had come back again. I think Maguire, like based on what happened pre-season, either he's not over that or he's just back to his regular ways, because defensively, even since joining United, he had a good start, and then towards the end of the season he started lackluster, and it's all happening again. There's about 3 occasions where he just passed it directly to a Palace player in front of him. De Gea, again, like, it's one of those things that's a bit annoying for me. Like, ever since they brought Henderson in from Sheffield United, I thought it'd be De Gea's replacement. And this game sort of just proves that they need someone like Henderson in goal. They can't rely on De Gea just because of his past glories. I think that's the problem I have at the moment, is because De Gea is such a big name that they don't want to bench him, but sometimes you have to, unfortunately. I mean, look what happened with Petr Cech at Arsenal. You know, they brought a new keeper and replaced him, started doing well for themselves. I think it might be the same for De Gea. Like, he might need to see about joining a different club. Or, like, you could either have Henderson or Romero in goal. Romero did quite well for himself in the Europa League last season. But yeah, I can't remember who scored the first goal for Palace. But then they got a penalty, which, in my opinion, was a bit harsh, but I can see why they gave it. So Zaha's running with the ball. Lindelof is running the same pace at him, doing like you know how you motion your arms when you're running, and basically Zaha or Schlupp, I can't remember which one, but they go to cross and he's like about 2 feet away from them with his arm up in the air, but from running, and then it hits them in the hand and they go, oh, that's handball. So you can see why it's a bit harsh, because he's not, like, he can't stop himself from being up there. And like, if it was further away and it happened, then fair enough, give the penalty. But because of how close it was a bit unfair. But again, that's how the rules are. So they get the penalty, they take it, De Gea saves it. Then they have to retake it a minute later because it turns out De Gea stepped off the line. And then they score the second one. I'd say the only upside Man U had was when they took Pogba off and brought on Van der Beek. Pogba didn't do well in that match at all, to be honest with you. For me, him and De Gea are the ones that sort of need to go. It's sort of like they're sort of relying on star power name rather than making their own names. Like, that's why I was happy when it was like Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, McTominay. You had James coming through. Lindelof I was fine with because it was sort of like, obviously he wasn't a massive name or anything before joining United. You got Wan-Bissaka, like, he could probably start doing better. I think they started playing Fosu Mensah now, which was like another one of their academy players. So I was sort of like going down that route, but I think De Gea and Pogba, unfortunately, is like, Pogba's not proved he's worth the price tag over the past couple of years. Like, sure, he was like really good at Juventus, but Serie A is a lot different to the Premier League. Same with like Bundesliga and all that stuff. Like, you look at those, it's like if you're playing for the right team, it's literally just goals and assists galore. But yeah, like in the Premier League, Pogba's not. The past couple of years, it's like he's had like 5 or 6 goals and like maybe 8 assists or something. And someone like Pogba, you're expecting double digits of goals and assists per season. I mean, you look at De Bruyne for Manchester City, like he's had the most assists over like 4 seasons, I think. He's had a good handful of goals as well. Anyway, enough ranting about that. Like I said, the only upside for Man U was when Van der Beek came over Pogba and he actually scored a goal for them, which was nice. Like, maybe he'll be a bit of a difference maker. Like when Bruno Fernandes came in during January, it was like, hopefully Van der Beek has some form of impact that might change him. But Man U definitely need to start buying in the transfer window if they're to do anything. All the other teams are already doing it. One of them, their transfer they made, has already made an impact, and I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, and then I think like maybe 5 minutes later, Crystal Palace went and scored again. So Zaha's scored 2 goals. So yeah, not a good start for Man U, but again, some teams tend to start slower than others. Liverpool already on 2 wins, so you know. Next match, Arsenal versus West Ham. I'll be honest, we weren't paying too much attention when watching this match. We were too busy talking about classic kits because we looked at some of the sponsors for some of the kits and they're a bit weird. We were talking about the glory days, you know. But yeah, if I remember correctly, I know Nketiah got the second goal, and it was people were like, oh, it might have been offside, but he was just onside because he was just behind. I can't remember who passed it in. I think Ceballos passed it in. I think Antonio got the equaliser for West Ham. I can't remember who scored Arsenal's first goal. Might have been Aubameyang or Lacazette. I think it was Lacazette scored the first one. I think it was Aubameyang assist, Lacazette goal, if I remember correctly. Yeah, like again, Arsenal 2 wins, goal difference of +4. They've got a pretty good start going on. Gabriel's definitely an improvement in their defence. Whether they need to sign anywhere else, I don't know. Aubameyang signed a new contract with them. Whether he stays the entire season, don't know. Moving on to Sunday, Southampton versus Tottenham. Ended up being 5-2 to Tottenham. I think Southampton first went up with a Danny Ings goal, and then Son and Kane literally just switched on. Son scored 4 goals, Kane got 4 assists, and then Kane got the 5th goal, and then Ings got 1 back. So it'll be interesting to see what Tottenham do going forward. Like, based on like last week's result, there's definitely a massive improvement. Son's, I guess, trying to fight for his position. I think he's pretty much got it. Like, Bale's going to play right wing, if anything. I think it's Lucas Moura that sort of has to watch out for his position. Next one, Newcastle versus Brighton. Kind of surprise for me. Brighton won 3-0. Can't remember who the scorers were. To be honest, I watched the Sky Sports highlights, so I can't really remember. But yeah, I was kind of hoping Newcastle would have done a bit better, but I guess Brighton, again, after sort of having a good effort against Chelsea, really kicked in. So they ended up winning 3-0. Chelsea versus Liverpool ended up 2-0 to Liverpool. Christensen got sent off for some, I think it was, I don't know if it was a denied goal scoring opportunity or the tackle he did basically just led to a red card. I think Mane got the first goal, and then I can't remember who got the second one. I should probably look at it. Maybe if I click this, it'll tell me. Oh, Mane got both of them, like within the space of like 5 minutes. But yeah, it was like literally just before halftime. Christensen got sent off. And then finally for Sunday, Leicester versus Burnley. Leicester winning 4-2. Castagna, Leicester's new signing, I think got an assist. I think there was like 4 different scorers for Leicester that night. Might have been 3. Yeah, so Harvey Barnes got one within 20 minutes. Well, Chris Wood scored first on the 10-minute mark. Harvey Barnes then equalised. Just after half time, there was an own goal by Peters. I think Barnes was trying to cross it in and Peters sort of blocked it into the goal. Then James Justin, the left back, scored for Leicester. Then Dunn, who was making his debut for Burnley, scored. And then Dennis Pratt managed to score a goal. So Leicester ended up winning 4-2. So that's 2 wins from 2 for Leicester. They're currently top of the table based on goal difference. They've got +5, whereas Everton and Arsenal have +4. Then yesterday, Aston Villa versus Sheffield United. I'll be honest, the last fixture was, to me, one of the most annoying one I've watched in recent time, mainly because of the massive VAR controversy that came out of it. I think this whole season, I'm just going to say, the only reason Villa are up is because of that VAR nonsense. Basically, if you haven't watched it, I'd say go back and watch it. So what happens is, it's the first game back after like the COVID break, and goalkeeper catches it and he literally like hugs it around the goalpost to the point it's clearly over the line, and then like goes to push it back over, and then basically they didn't allow it, and that draw in that game was the point that kept them up last season. But I'd say they've definitely done all right in the signings this season. I know they're still trying to get more. They've got Ollie Watkins at the front. I don't think he scored today. I can't remember who scored for them. Ngoyo. Well, John Egan got sent off early for Sheffield United, which didn't help me at all. Because I had him in my team and I captained him, so obviously I get minus points for that. But yeah, at one point Sheffield United got a penalty, and their new signing, Emi Martinez, who people might know from last season, is the goalkeeper that replaced Leno at Arsenal whilst he was out injured, who actually did quite well for himself. He actually helped them win the FA Cup and helped them win the Community Shield. So it is a bit of a shame to see him leave Arsenal, but I think with Leno being back, Martinez isn't going to get the game time. So Aston Villa sort of got him, which was nice. Martinez actually saved the penalty for them, so he actually did quite well that game. And then later on, Ngoyo went to score, so Aston Villa ended up winning 1-0. And then finally, Wolves versus Man City. The last time these two faced each other, Wolves beat them both times, 2-0 at the Etihad and then 3-2 at the Molineux. This time, not so lucky. Man City ended up winning 3-1. Podence was probably like the star player for Wolves, if anything. He had a couple of close shots and then he managed to get the assist. But it started off Kevin De Bruyne scoring a penalty in the 20th minute. Phil Foden then scoring on 32 minutes. I'm surprised that they're playing him considering the recent trouble he got in. But I guess the only thing he's going to get is probably like not called up to England for a while. And then after half time, Jimenez managed to get one back for Wolves. But then in the essentially the last minute of the game, Gabriel Jesus then scored the last, the goal to make it 3-1. So then Man City won. If I'm going based on the table now, let me just get the table up if I can. Here we go. Nope. Give me 1 second. There we go. Right, so in the top 5, you got Leicester City with, well, basically top 5 have all got 6 points. But Leicester have got a goal difference of +5. Everton is second with +4. Arsenal are third with +4. I think the reason why they're there is based on goals scored after like goal difference. Liverpool are fourth with a +3 goal difference. Crystal Palace are fifth with a +3 goal difference. And then if we go to the bottom, 20th West Brom with -6 and 0 points. Southampton 19th. They've got 0 points and -4. Fulham are 18th, again with -4. And then 17th and 16th are Sheffield United and West Ham with -3. Currently, Manchester United are down in 15th based on goal. Well, basically because they've only played one game. We'll see what the other game does. But yeah, I think it was a pretty good weekend of football, especially I think Saturday. If I remember correctly, there was 19 or 21 goals that day, which was pretty good. Let me have a look over it. 7, 14, 8, 21 goals. On one day, there was 21 goals. And then on Sunday, we had another 18 goals. So that's 39 goals in the space of 2 days. But that entire game weekend, we had 44 goals in total. So that was nice to see that every team at least scored a goal. I don't think we've had a 0-0 just yet. We might have had one last week, I think. I think there's one last week. No. There's always been a goal in a game, which is nice. But yeah, like I said, it's been a really entertaining game week. I really hope more game weeks like this, where it's just goals galore. I'm hoping that's what we're going for. Maybe some more big surprises. We'll see how the leaders do. We'll see how big the bottom do. But yeah, like I said, it was a really good week of football. I'm excited to see who does well and who doesn't. I know it's the early stages, but some teams start to for example, like Man City and Liverpool, if they start doing really well, then they're off for the rest of the season. Whereas a team like Everton, they're currently 2 wins for 2. I think they're aiming for either Europa League or Champions League spot for now. So whether they can keep that up, who knows? But that's pretty much been my review of Premier League Game Week 2. Let me know what your reactions to Game Week 2 are. I'll be back next week with Game Week 3. I know there's some cup matches going on midweek, so we'll see how that affects the teams during the weekend. But thank you very much for watching this video, and I shall hopefully see you in the next one.